I just got to. It'll turn out great. All right, here comes Sledge now. Uh, wait for him to connect to his audio. Speaking of green screens, his phenomenal green screen. Oh no, he just walked out of the green screen room into his coffee shop. There he
Yeah,
is.
man.
There you are. Let's bring him over. Um, First and foremost, two things. One, thanks for joining us here tonight. And two, you can hear me, right, Sledge?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, cool.
And then
All right.
two, I apologize because if I would have known to do it through Discord video ahead of time, I could have arranged it all to have it all set up. Uh,
It's
it's
all good.
yeah, it's we were just talking about like right before you came on. My setup down here is a little elaborate and like the Thunderdome, uh, overrated and what was the word I just used? Too much. It's too much. It's just too much.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary. That's the word I
Yeah,
used.
it's all good, man. We all got to have our toys, right?
We all gotta have our toys. Well, I have three daughters, so if I don't have a room down here like this, I'm gonna lose my mind. So I'm just trying to
I'm in
change.
my studio / office myself, so
There you go. And that is Coffee with Sledge on Twitch.
yes, absolutely.
Monday, Wednesday,
I started
Friday.
during the pandemic.
What's
So,
that?
I started during the pandemic.
That's right. Yes. And we're definitely going to get to that. And one of the most interesting things about you, and you have such a great inspirational story. I guess motivational is the word I'll use, and we'll get to that as well. But right before the pandemic, you signed your deal with Ring of Honor. It's ironic
Yeah.
because you signed and then things shut down. Um,
I
but
always say, Sledge finally got a contract and the whole world crashed.
yeah, yeah, right. But that like you didn't come out of the blue. Like that signing was 9 years in the making. Like you uh worked your way. That was not, you've been in this business for 9 years and before you signed that deal, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I've
Yeah.
had looks like I got looked at like by WWE. I did some stuff with Impact, NWA, and Ring of Honor. I took a chance on myself,
Yeah.
and Ring of Honor offered me a spot, and I had to work my butt off to get that spot with Ring of Honor, but I couldn't be happier with where I chose to go. So
Yeah. Um, but, but so I wanted to start off, and I get derailed a lot, and I talk a lot, so
it's all good.
it's
So do I.
okay. Good, then we're perfect. But I was wondering, how does one go from playing the drums in a metal band as the Hammer to Ring of Honor's metalhead maniac that we see right now? How does that even evolve?
Well, it's kind of cool. I guess it's just an interesting story. Just I played drums since I was a kid. I always played
Mm.
bands. Like I'd play like with music before like it was cool to do on YouTube,
Yeah.
you know. And I'd always get in trouble for it. My neighbors would get pissed. I'd just be sitting there just hammering and hammering. And I just started playing in bands, man, and touring. And my band got a small deal with Jägermeister.
Nice.
And then but I've always been a big fan of professional wrestling, and the door opened one time and I didn't go through it, so I decided to the door opened again, and when a door opens twice you kind of got to go through the door and see what happens. And well, it's been a very up and down road with professional wrestling, but it's now my career, it's now my job, and I couldn't be happier with the choice I made, to be a professional wrestler.
So that first door that opens, and you didn't go through it. What was holding you back then?
Well, that's kind of an interesting story. I was dating a girl at the time, and I told her I wanted to go to professional wrestling school to become a professional wrestler, and she literally laughed in my face. She literally laughed in my face, said, "You'll never make any money. You need to get a real job." So, I took her advice and I went and I actually moved with her to San Luis Obispo, where I currently live now.
Yeah.
And then kind of got the real job and started playing in bands. But like the road is always where I've always wanted to be. And wrestling just kind of, the door opened again with professional wrestling. And like I said, when the door opens twice, you kind of got to go through it.
Did she go through the door with you the second time?
No,
No,
no, no.
Oh,
That relationship is no longer there.
no longer
So,
there. Have you always
yeah.
been a metalhead?
Honestly, no.
Interesting.
Yeah, to be real, I actually, when I was first growing up, I listened to a lot of rap, a
Oh.
lot of hip hop.
Me too.
Yeah,
too.
a lot of hip hop, and it wasn't like it wasn't like gangster rap, not
Yeah.
like Tupac and like Ice Cube stuff. It was more like Puff Daddy, Mace,
Oh yeah.
like
Mace.
I did listen to like some Snoop Dogg
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but like it was more of like the more upbeat
Yep.
stuff, hip hop. And then my sister was the metalhead.
Wow.
And I was walking by her door one day and I'm like, man, she's like jamming like Anthrax. And I'm like, what is this? And like, I love playing drums. I'm like, dude, that's a badass beat. What is going on in this room? And I come in and she introduced me to metal music.
Yeah.
And it's just, now it was just like, nope, screw rap, metal it is. So.
Wow. Yeah. Older sister?
And I bought like Metallica albums, and I didn't get into Metallica until like the Load album,
Really?
and that was like their,
Yeah.
that was in their, what was that, the 90s, 2000s?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking Mace, man. That was such a good album. His first album was so good.
His first album was a banger.
Yeah.
Man.
It was really good.
It was a banger.
And
I
then
would bump it. I would bump it.
and then
Wow,
he disappeared for ever, I think.
Ever.
And
I
then
don't even know where he is now.
well, he did come back with, I don't know if he came back with an entire album, but he did come back with a song probably in 2004. And the only reason I remember that is I remember exactly where I was standing at the time when I heard it. So yeah, but I don't know where he is now. He was like I think he was a preacher for a while. Very interesting stuff.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I love like Biggie Smalls.
Yeah.
Just that whole, genre
Yeah.
of that kind of rap,
Yeah.
and then like Biggie got shot.
Yeah.
Puff did that music video for him, and I bumped that shit,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I can say that. Can I say that on here?
Yeah,
Can I
you can say this is Twitch.
Okay. I know, but some people, they have.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I mean, I don't want to say good times. You just said he was shot, but I remember that clear as day, man. I used to listen to that stuff all the time, Interesting. And you played drums and we're listening to rap, which I guess makes sense in my head, I guess, with beats, but
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense in anybody's head.
I'm trying to be
I'm
nice.
trying to make sense of it. It wasn't like I wasn't playing a drum set though. I was playing like the band, like a high school band, like
Okay.
like middle school band. Like I was playing percussion.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then
Interesting.
I finally got like a real drum set once I started getting into metal music.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, there you go. That makes more sense.
Yeah. And then it was just like I was playing anywhere from like, a band called Flaw, which I still love, and they're not even around anymore.
Yeah.
To Linkin Park, to Papa Roach, to next thing you know, like, Kill Switch comes into my life, and
Ooh, punk.
Pantera, and the list kind of goes on and on. So
Yeah. That second door that opened up, what was that? What was that door? Who was it?
it was so I won tickets to a professional wrestling show on the radio.
Okay.
And I couldn't go because I had a band gig. So I gave it to my coworker, and he went, and they had a school, and he's like, dude, I had a blast, bro. You gotta, like, we would always talk about wrestling. He's like, dude, you gotta go to the school. You gotta contact them. So I was doing promotions for a nightclub, and I contacted the promoter and said, hey, let me throw a show for you guys, and you give me a month of training
Nice.
just to see if I can do it. And I
Yeah.
come from like a mixed martial arts background and a martial arts background, and I did collegiate wrestling as well. So I've watched professional wrestling like my whole life. So I kind of knew the
Yeah.
gist of it here and there, And he goes, yeah. So we threw the show, and it was kind of funny because I was like the biggest guy at the show. And a lot of people are like, are you getting in the ring? And I'm like, no, I'm actually promoting it. And they're like, dude, what the, you're huge. What the hell? So I said, my time will come. And then I only trained for like professional wrestling, like in like training for like maybe a month and a half.
Wow.
And then I just kind of trial by fire,
Yeah.
went out on the road.
Yeah, we've talked to some other wrestlers that said that's like training's great and go to the right school, get the right training, but you really learn more getting in there, getting in the ring, taking the bumps, doing the stuff like that.
Knowing how to call it on the fly, working with different
Yeah.
styles. Yeah, absolutely. And then having like good mentors too is huge in the business. People that you can reach out to, and you can people that you've wrestled multiple times that have actually been somewhere that can coach you and kind of lead you on the right path. So
Who is one of your mentors?
Gangrel,
Oh,
huge
yeah.
one, huge mentor of mine. And that's why I said when you had Holodead on,
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I know Holodead,
Yeah.
for sure. Simbodi was a huge one. Brutal Bob Evans was another one.
Nice.
Chavo Guerrero, Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Kind of list kind of goes on.
Yeah. So I was doing my research as best I could today. Um so okay. So you go you win these tickets, you go, you train. Let's fast forward a little bit. You get your foot in at Ring of Honor to go to the dojo. And like you said, you took that chance, you gambled on yourself. Who how does that come about? Like who helped you get your foot in the door at Ring of Honor that allowed you to take this gamble?
So I originally, like, if you want to like kind of rewind,
Okay.
if I can rewind
Yep.
just a tiny bit. I got hot on the indies because
Okay.
right after the Steve Austin podcast,
That's right.
I
Yep.
did Steve Austin podcast 2 years ago, and he really helped. I should have put them in the mentor, Steve Austin. I
Yeah.
apologize. He really helped launch my independent career.
Take you to that next.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was only there on a limb. I was there with AJ Kirsch.
Okay. Yep.
We were doing some traveling together, and he goes, hey, I got this going on. And then like Steve calls him and he asks if I can come with him, and he goes, yeah, bring him. And then me and Steve just kind of started rapping because he realized that I had like a little bit of a story, dealing with like alcohol, drugs addiction,
Yep.
Depression, so on and so forth. So he's like, hey man, can I podcast you? I said, he goes, I believe it will help a lot of people. I'm like, hell yeah, dude, let's do it. And doing that really opened up a lot of doors, because once the Steve Austin podcast hit, my Twitter, my Facebook, my everything just started lighting up. And next thing you know, promoters are sliding in my DMs wanting to book me and start flying me. And then I got the chance to work with Impact. I worked Eli Drake on Impact.
Nice.
And Impact really loved the match. And then after that, it just kind of Ring of Honor was always kind of a place I always wanted to go, because they were just, if you see a lot of the guys that come to the bigger companies, like AEW or WWE,
Yeah.
they all came from Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
All their top stars are Ring of Honor guys.
Yep.
And I remember watching Ring of Honor on HDNet, back in the day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this is like innovative shit. Like, what's going? Like, this is awesome. So I heard that they were coming to Las Vegas for their 17th anniversary, and something in my gut told me that I had to go.
Yeah.
Clear out that weekend and go. I wasn't booked. I wasn't anything. I literally rolled the dice just so they can get some kind of eyes on me.
Wow.
And I busted my butt there. I literally, when I got there, I had contacted a buddy of mine who has done ring crew for them before. And I contacted him, and he goes, yeah, man, like if there's trucks there, that means they're there. So they're probably setting up. So I was circling Sam's Town all morning, inside Sam's Town, trying to get into the venue to try to help out. And finally I got so a guy named Bird came up to me. He goes, hey man, like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? Like, you're kind of being kind of sketchy. What's up? I was like, hey man, I'm just kind of here to help. Like, whatever you guys need. He goes, hey, okay, cool. We do set up at 12. I was like, all right, cool. And then next thing you know, I bust my butt over the weekend. I get eyes on me from, the upper management. They invite me back for the Saturday. I do Saturday. I bust my butt. And then off to the races, we kind of went. They offered me about a week later. They asked me if I was going to be in New York for WrestleMania weekend, and I
Mhm.
said yes, I will, because I had Blackcraft and I had a signing to do at WrestleCon, and they're like, "Would you want to come to the G1?"
Nice.
And I said, "Yeah, hell yeah,
Yeah.
I would love to come to the G1." And they're like, "Cool, we'll send you the info. We'll see you in New York." Got the info, showed up at Madison Square Garden. I was only there for maybe about 10 minutes, give or take, and I got the Iggy on the elbow to follow them into the office. Oh, excuse me. They offered me the tryout that was coming up. I got the that was in March, April, May. It was like May, the first weekend of May was a tryout. They offered me that. So I did the tryout, and then after the tryout, they offered me a dojo spot as I was flying home. Well, they said that you're going to have to relocate to Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm from
Right.
California. And that was with no guarantees, no contract, no nothing. Was just like, hey, we'll give you a dojo spot. We don't think you're quite ready for TV yet. We kind of want to show you our ways, and we'll kind of see what happens.
So that's like the performance center. If we were relating it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, absolutely. It's the Ring of Honor's dojo is like their performance center.
Okay.
A lot of the guys, Dak Draper, SOS, Quinn McKay,
Okay.
a lot of the names that are on TV right now all came from the dojo system. So they offered me the dojo spot. I came back home. I talked to the people that I needed to talk to, my support system. They said, it's an opportunity, so you need to go.
Yeah.
And I said, all right. I contacted them, said, I'll take the spot. I moved out September, the first weekend of September was my first weekend. And they're like, we'll put you on the ring trucks to keep you floating money wise.
Okay.
And then you still can do indies as well, as long as they don't interfere with Ring of Honor dates, because you'll be driving the trucks, so we need you on the trucks. I said, sure, and within probably about 6 months, I got really close with the booker and the promoter. He really liked my work. He really liked what I was doing. He really loved that I was improving. I took it as like, this is an all or nothing. I'm pushing
Yeah.
all my chips in on this.
Yeah.
If this doesn't work out, I'm kind of getting up there in age. So if this doesn't work out, I might want to sit there and think about hanging up the boots and, do what the first woman said I should do and get a real job,
Yeah. Mm.
And it all worked out. I signed my deal. I signed my deal in February, went into effect March 1st, and the whole world shut down.
Shut down.
So
Insane. Did you call Steve Austin? Let him know.
I did. Actually, it was funny when I signed so before I went to the tryout, the day before the tryout,
Okay.
I reached out to Steve. I go, hey, I got a Ring of Honor tryout. What do you think? Do you have any advice? And he goes, go in there and do what you do. Leave it all out there. What's the worst that's going to happen? They say no.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, but that plane ride home is going to be a very lonely plane ride if you realize you didn't give it all you got.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, sir, absolutely. And when I was signing my deal, so I signed my deal in the dojo, and I had somebody video record it, and I sent it to Steve. And I said, look, Steve, I'm signing my deal to Ring of Honor, my official deal to Ring of Honor. He goes, hell yeah, kid, congrats. So that was really, really cool. So
Yeah.
I still talk to Steve. Today. So.
Oh man, that's great. That is a great story. Insane. And we're gonna get to your Ring of Honor stuff and everything that came from, like, literally you sign and then the world shuts down and now it birthed Coffee with Sledge. But I would be remiss if I didn't touch a little bit on like you said, you struggled with addiction and depression, and you battled yourself through that, and you picked yourself up. Where in the timeline did you struggle with this?
So when I was younger, around 11 years old, my dad passed away from viral and bilateral pneumonia.
Oh,
And he was like the glue that held my family together.
yeah.
So once he passed, my family completely split apart. And my mother fell into a very deep depression. That was her first love. That was her everything, So she fell into a very, very deep depression. It kind of left me and my sister kind of out to kind of do our own thing. So I rebelled a lot. I didn't do good in school. I was getting into fights. Any man that tried to tell me to do anything, it was like, dukes up, we're fighting. You know, but I got into wrestling from my dad's best friend. He got me into wrestling. He says, hey man, you got a lot of aggression, dude. You got to wrestle.
Yeah, get it out.
And his son wrestled. So he got me into freestyle, and I really took to freestyle, and I took it to collegiate. But I started drinking at a very young age because I come from a very long line of alcoholics in my family. And it's kind of funny that we're talking about this, because I literally wrote all this down on a piece of paper yesterday. It's just crazy that we're all talking about this again. And the alcoholics, I started drinking at like 13, 14 years old. And it was just something about beer and alcohol and boozing and just trying to see where I fit in, the best I could. I left my house right after high school. I barely graduated high school. Left my house, moved in with an aunt and uncle who had marital problems, and he was a heavy drinker. Drinking, partying with him, being a knucklehead. I got into some trouble with the law, and became homeless off of that. And my sister, who lived in San Francisco at the time, I called my biological mother. And I told her that while I was homeless, that if I don't find a place to live or find something, I'm going to die here on these streets. And she says, I can't help you. And she hung up the phone. So I haven't really talked to my biological mother since. I called my sister. My sister goes, where have you been? I've been trying to get a hold of you. I've been trying to find you. Where have you been? Where are you? Where are you right now? I told her I was in Oxnard, California. I said, I'm living on the streets. I have a trash bag full of my clothes. And she goes, can you make it to this? And it was like 24 blocks down or something like that. She goes, can you make it to this train station? I said, yeah. She goes, you have a train ticket waiting for you. I'm busing you up here. And at the time I was on probation. I said, I don't know how we're going to do it. Yeah. Like, I'm going to get in trouble, if I do this. She goes, no, I will take care of everything. Don't worry. Get up here. So she bussed me from Oxnard to San Francisco, and it took like a day or so because there were so many stops in between. Got off the bus, and I still had that rebel mentality in my head, that nothing can mess with me, and I know best, and all this stuff, and I got into some fights with my sister, and she almost kicked me out a couple times because I was just so rebellious. I met that girl that I was telling you about that I told you that I was going to go to professional wrestling. It was APW. Okay. Actually, All Pro Wrestling. I don't know if you remember the movie Beyond the Mat.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I watched that when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I reached out to APW. They had this like online form, and they said, well, who do you think you look like? And a lot of people have told me I look like Batista.
Yeah.
I used to have all clean shaved and just a little line on the middle here, without the nose ring and without the earrings, and the shaved head.
Yeah.
And I used to, they said I look like Batista. Roland Alexander called me like within, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Says, hey, I want you to come down to school and check it out. It's in Hayward, which in San Francisco, it was only like maybe like half hour BART ride or something like that. So I never did. I met the girl. She told me to get a real job, and so on and so forth. The addiction with the addiction, I kept drinking, drinking, always partying, always drinking, always partying, always drinking. When I got into professional wrestling, I got hot really quick. I was a big guy who had a decent look. Yeah. And WWE contacted me, and I thought I was the absolute shit. No one could tell me anything, right? And instead of living that professional life, I was living that rock star life.
Yeah.
So I'm on the road every weekend, and I'm partying every weekend, after parties, you name it.
Yeah.
And we're doing it. And then I get hurt at a party, nonetheless, not in the ring, at a party. I landed on a beer can. I went and jumped on a buddy's back, and he Samoan dropped me
On a beer can.
on a beer can that
Oh.
was standing straight up,
Oh.
and it went right into my lower back. Boom, bent me. I lost feeling in my legs. I was like, oh no, like this is bad.
Yeah.
I felt like I had to go to the hospital. And then I had to wrestle the next day. I think I had like a double header the next day. I didn't go to the doctor. I wrestled. And about a week later, I was in a match. And with a very green guy, I was green myself. And I went to do a move. I don't remember exactly what it was. I lost feeling in my left leg.
Oh.
And I went, oh no, like I can't feel my left leg. And he's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, just keep going, keep going, keep going. We're good, we're good. I go to pick him up for the pump handle slam because I used to use it. And he went up so heavy, my back gave out. Boom. And I barely protected him.
Yeah,
Barely protected him. Almost dropped him right on his head. Covered him. 1, 2, 3. I can't move after the match. My back is locked up. My legs have locked up. I can't move. So they helped me out of the ring. They get me to the back. And they're like, you need to go to the hospital. I was like, no, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not going to the hospital. I only live an hour away. Just let me drive home. Get me in the car. Let me drive home. I drive home, and then I realize I can't get out of the car. I'm like, I physically can't get out of the car. I'm in so much pain, I can't get out of the car. So I drive myself to the emergency room, and the doctor tells me, dude, you need to stop wrestling.
Oh.
Like, you're done. 100% done. And I'm like, nah, man. Like, I just started. Like, no. So he prescribes me Norcos.
Okay.
A heavy dose of Norcos. So I start popping Norcos. While I'm popping Norcos, I'm still drinking because things at home aren't going very well. My home life's falling apart because I'm living the rock star life.
Mm-hmm.
And now all I'm doing is drinking, and now I'm popping pills. So my wife at the time, she left me. She said, nope, I'm out. See ya. So that made me fall into even more deeper of a depression.
Yep.
And now I'm running out of my script. So what do you do when you run out of a script? You find somebody who has a script.
Yeah. Yep.
I start popping more pills. I start popping this. I got into a match that I should have never walked out of the curtain. I was so blacked out. Should have never walked out of the curtain. And I would say shame on the promoter for letting me walk out of that curtain, but it wasn't necessarily on the promoter. It was on myself. It was on me. Let's just say it was the worst match of my life. 100%. The worst match of my life. I get done with that match. I get into a fight with the promoter because I'm just completely out of my mind. I leave, and then next thing you know, the next couple of days, things start kind of popping out online. What happened?
Okay. Yeah, well, that's, yeah.
Next thing you know, a lot of bookings are being pulled from me.
Mm.
And now all of a sudden, I'm sitting at home with no bookings, no wife, no friends, no nothing. That's a dark place.
Yeah. Lonely, yeah.
And no one's returning my text messages. No one's returning my text messages, my calls, nothing. And that wake-up call came when my best friend, JD Horror, called me.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, we need to talk. He goes, I've been seeing this for a while. You've been going down, 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 down. I went to a WWE tryout completely out of my mind, by the way. I got a WWE tryout in 2013, and I thought I would never hear from the WWE again because I was so out of my mind. He calls me, he goes, dude, you need help. Like, I literally had a beer in my hand when he called me. I had pain pills right by my nightstand, and then I had a pistol.
Oh.
Thinking,
yeah,
might as well. You know, what you've been battling so hard in life, and life is just kicked you. Why fight anymore? Why? but I was putting all the poison in my body. This was all self-induced, and I put my buddy on FaceTime, and I dumped out all my body, all my pills, dumped out all my alcohol in my house, and I did that 6 years ago, and I haven't looked back.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
and he is still my best friend to this day. He literally saved my life.
Yeah, I was just
gave
gonna
me
say
that wake up call that
Yep.
I needed. And then all I did was substitute, though. All I did was substitute 2 addictions for another addiction, and that was food.
Yep. But I mean, that's the progression, I guess. You remove that one addiction, you're gonna replace it. My shoot job is working with behaviors, children and their behaviors, and if I can eliminate one extreme behavior, like let's say hitting another child, that behavior just manifests itself as hitting yourself, and then you get rid of that. You just try to whittle it down until you got nothing. So
absolutely. And it was just kind of the day you wake up clean and sober, like all of the poison is out of your body. I was so bad that I would wake up in the morning and I would have to vomit in the shower. Because I was so messed up from the night before, and I was vomiting blood.
Yeah.
And then I would get out of the shower and I would pop some pills. I would take a shot to try to even myself out, and then I would go work. I would go work a shoot job.
Mm.
And I was getting them from a guy at the shoot job.
Yeah. Vicious cycle.
It's a very vicious cycle. But that day you wake up so clear-minded, man. That day you wake up and you just go, man, like, this is what it feels like to be sober. This is what it feels like. My body doesn't hurt as bad as I thought my body hurt.
Yeah.
My back doesn't hurt as bad as I thought my back hurt. And then rehabbing properly really helped me a lot as well. But as I said, nobody in the wrestling business still wouldn't really still kind of kept me at bay in the wrestling business, because they weren't quite sure how long I was going to stay sober.
Right.
Joey Chaos from Santino Brothers really took a chance on me. And he goes, give me one reason. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't pull your bookings right now with me. Just give me one. And I said that I'm never going to pick up the bottle or do pills ever again. And he goes, I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah.
And he took a chance on me. And once he took a chance on me, everybody else kind of started taking a chance.
Yeah.
But also I ballooned up. I didn't look like a professional wrestler because I substituted 2 addictions, like I said, for one addiction, that was food.
Mm-hmm.
So I ballooned up really big. Like I got up to like 320 pounds.
Wow.
And carrying that much weight on a kind of already kind of broken body, it's like go to the gym and pick up a 100-pound dumbbell.
Oof.
And try to carry that around.
I'm not. I can't
on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And imagine that kind of weight on your joints, on your neck, on the back that you're already having problems with.
Yeah.
It was time to make a change. And then I'm watching all my friends. Sorry if I'm still rambling.
No,
cut me off.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Beat me down.
Nope, you're fine.
All my friends, acquaintances. I won't say friends, acquaintances.
Okay.
Lucha Underground came around.
Yep.
And Lucha Underground started swooping up everybody.
Yep. Sure.
All the California guys, they started swooping up and making stars out of. And I'm sitting on the couch and I'm watching this. And I'm sober.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, if I wasn't a drug addict, I could have been right there with them. I could probably be in the WWE right now.
Yeah.
If I wasn't a drug addict. And that day was the day that I changed everything. The day that I picked myself up off of the depression I was in. I was working a really good shoot job.
Yeah.
I mean, I was working for the cable. I was a linesman for the cable company.
Yeah.
I was making great money.
That is good.
And I traded it all in. I quit my job. I started going to the gym twice a day. I went down to part-time at another job and just started busting my butt. And then my buddy Wes out of Vegas was like, "Hey man, like we want to book you.
Mhm.
Are you available?" And I said, "Yeah, man." And then I just started kind of gaining some steam, more steam. Then the Austin thing happened. Then off to the kind of races we are,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
motivational speaking and motivational podcasts and motivational anything. If you could change your mindset and you get that negativity out of your mind and you start bringing in positive thinking, it's amazing what you can do. It really is. It's an amazing thing. And I still struggle to this day. Some days I wake up and I'm like, man, I just don't feel like getting the hell out of bed.
Right.
I have bad days just like everybody else, but I understand that my bad days are just a bump in the road. That's all that is. It's just a bump in the road. It's not going to last. It's not going to last at all. I'll give you an example. I was in Maryland and I was moving because Ring of Honor, after I signed my deal with Ring of Honor, the COVID thing happened. I flew back to California because I still have a place here in California.
Mm-hmm.
I was living in two places at once. And my boss at Ring of Honor says, "Hey man, we really like what you're doing, at home. You can go ahead and move home, and we're just gonna start, we'll start flying you. We're gonna move you to the main roster soon. So and we don't know when that is because we're in a pandemic. So just move home. It's fine." So when the tapings happened for the Pure tournament, I went to Maryland and I packed up all my stuff. And I left my moonroof open on my car, and it rained. Yeah.
Don't mean to laugh.
I'm going to the gym.
Yeah.
And I see a tarp over my car, and I go, I didn't do what I think I did, right? So I go, I take the tarp off, because my landlord put the tarp over my car because he came home at like 2 or 3 in the morning, realized my moonroof was open, and put the tarp over. Get in my car, soaking wet, and I go, man, this isn't a great way to start the day.
Nope.
But I'm going to the gym anyway.
Yeah.
Go to the gym, start my squat set, my back goes out. Bop, bop. And I go, man, this is a really bad day.
Oh.
And I could have easily just went back to where I was staying at and go to bed and just call it a day. You'll never know what something can change at an instant. I go to this place called Bliss Nutrition that I used to go to all the time that I was in Maryland. I walk in, and every time I would be there, I would always buy, because I believe in paying it forward.
Yep.
I would buy my protein shake or whatever I was having at the time, and I would always buy. They'd always do the shake and like a lemonade, for a certain amount. I go, you guys, I'm gonna buy both, but I don't want the lemonade. But you guys give it to whoever you guys want. Every day I would go in there and I would do this.
Yeah.
And they would give it to like law enforcement that would walk in or whoever it was. I walk in and she could tell, like the owner could tell I was having a little bit of a rough morning. Right. And I'm thinking to myself, man, like I gonna get my shake. And she gives me my shake for free.
Yeah.
And she gives me like this fat burner shot or something like that. And I'm like, man, okay, my day's turning around. There's a step in the right direction right there. Next thing you know, my buddy calls me and he goes, hey man, let's it's your last night. Let's go to DC. I'm gonna take you to dinner. Dinner's on me. Let's go.
There you
go. Boom. Now my day's changing. So it's just what you do with the day.
Yeah.
I could have easily just called it a day and went to bed, but I didn't. I kept moving. I kept going forward.
Yeah, just speed bumps. That's what you said. Yeah, just speed bumps.
They're just speed bumps. You have 24 hours in the day, bud.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with those 24 hours in the day?
Yeah, it's great. It's hearing you talk about that is extremely motivational. Obviously, I like when you're relatable. You make it relatable. You say things like, if you can do it, anybody can do it. And
100%.
I think more people need to hear that. I think, like Steve Austin said, you have a story, and I think people hearing your story, it's going to help someone out there. Someone will see this and it will help them. And that's the whole pay it forward aspect. Just like you said.
100%. You never know.
Huh.
I had a buddy, and I'll tell you guys, I don't know how much time we have, but I'll tell you a story. I was driving to Vegas. I just got back from Vegas on Sunday, and I was driving to Vegas. And when I first started in the business, I had a buddy that lived in Florida. So I flew to Florida and did a couple shots and I met another guy. And he goes, and we kind of stayed in contact here and there. And he reached out to me. He goes, hey, man, I really like what you're doing with your motivational stuff. He goes, I'm kind of in a rough, I'm in a really rough way. Can you help me? I go, yeah, man. I shoot him my number and he gives me a call. And he goes, I don't want to drink anymore. I go, okay. I go, well, what's going on, man? Why are you coming to this decision?
Right.
Because you have to come to the decision you don't want to drink anymore. If you don't want to be sober, you're not going to be sober. It's one of those things where it's like you have to seriously think to yourself in your mind that I want to do this. And there's nothing that's going to stop me from doing this. And he goes, well, my wife left me and she left me with the 3 kids. I go, okay. And he goes, I've thought about suicide and I've thought about a number amount of things, man. But like, I thought I would reach out to you because I've kind of seen your story and I think that you could help me. I go, yeah, let's, tell me more of the rundown. He goes, I was doing really good. I was 4 or 5 months clean and sober, but then I let me and my ex-wife got back together. And then she started accusing me of, instead of going to the gym, accused me of like seeing another girl, or the reason why I'm going to the gym is because you want to look good for these girls, or yada yada yada. And he's like, no, I just want to feel better about myself. So he stopped going to the gym. He started drinking again. Anyway, they sooner or later broke up, but he continued drinking, and he met this new girl who doesn't do anything. She's clean and sober. She's a good girl. And he goes, this morning she went to go kiss me goodbye and I couldn't even get up. Every time she comes home, I'm an asshole to her because I have alcohol in my system. And he goes, she's such a good girl. I said, you have to realize that. I said, there's a reason why she came into your life right now. There's a reason. Yep. I said, she has nothing invested in this. Nothing invested in this. So I said, she could easily pack up her things, walk out that door and leave you with those 3 kids, but she's stepping up to be a mother because the other mother's not doing it. I said, out of respect for her, you need to clean yourself up. And I guarantee you that $120 you're spending a week on alcohol, the $200 you're spending a week on alcohol, I said, put that away. Put it away for your kids. Every time you go and buy alcohol, the 5th of whiskey or whatever you're drinking, put that money aside for your kids and see how far it goes. You know, and he goes, I don't know. He goes, I go, where are you at in your house right now? He goes, I'm in my living room. I go, how much alcohol you got in the house? He goes, I got like this big old bottle of whiskey. And I go, what are you gonna do with that bottle of whiskey? I said, you gonna drink it? I said, you just called me. You asked me for help. Are you just gonna drink it? And he goes, no, I'm gonna dump it down the drain. I go, good. I'll sit on the phone.
Yeah.
And he dumped it down the drain while I was on the phone.
Wow.
And I said, now imagine when your girlfriend comes home from work and she goes to kiss you and you don't have whiskey on your breath. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine when you tell her, I know that I've been bad. I know that I haven't treated you well, but babe, I'm going to treat you better from now on because you deserve it. Imagine the release of emotions she's going to have.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have to worry anymore.
Nope. Good stuff. That is good stuff. Oh, man. Whew. Anyways. That's good, man. I tell you, that story, I could just hear you tell those stories all night. But I would be remiss if we didn't talk a little bit about Coffee with Sledge, because that's where I stumbled upon you. I don't remember how I found it. I think I was literally looking for wrestlers that had Twitch channels. And I think that's how I found you. And I caught you one morning, or morning for you, afternoon for me. And it was just great stuff. It was just great. I related so well to it. The people you had on. How did that come about for you? And, tell the people who maybe have never seen it what it's about.
It's kind of funny. It's kind of interesting how it all came about. I was sitting at home like we all were
Yeah.
during a pandemic, and I'm like, man, like I kind of want to start. I would go on live on Instagram.
Okay.
I have a porch in my house, and I would sit there and I would drink coffee every morning. I live right by the beach. So I listen to the waves crash. I listen to the morning. It's kind of how I like to start my morning.
Good
Kind
vibes.
of like
Yeah.
to sit on the porch and just kind of collect my thoughts and collect what I'm going to do for the day. And I would go on Instagram live and just talk to people, just talk to random people. And Zicky Dice,
Yep.
he goes, "Hey man, like, I really like what you're doing on your Instagram. You should do this on Twitch."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know, And Marty the Moth
Yep. I know him. Yeah.
talked to me about Twitch about a year prior. So it's back to the when the door opens twice kind of thing.
Yep.
You kind of got to go through it. So I was like, yeah, Marty was talking to me about this Twitch thing about a year ago, and now you're telling me about it. Okay, let's kind of see where this goes. Let's kind of open it up. And I had my first show with AJ Kirsch was my first guest on.
Yeah.
And it just kind of just starting to start steamrolling from
Yeah.
there. And next thing you know, we're doing Ring of Honor week, and I got a
Yeah.
bunch of Ring of Honor guests that are wanting to pop on and talk. And it's just it's like I just sit down like what we're doing. We're just
Yeah.
sitting down, we're just BSing.
Yep.
I don't really have a formula what I go off of. I mean, I do research on my guests,
Yeah.
like you do.
Yeah.
But we just kind of rap and just have fun and take questions from the chat. And
Yeah.
we talk about current events like wrestling or whatever else is going on in the world, It's kind of funny because I was listening to your show before I jumped on.
Yeah.
You said something like, well, what is there really out there to watch right now in professional wrestling?
Yeah.
Have you seen the new Ring of Honor stuff?
I have been watching the Pure tournament. And the sad thing is, I missed the championship match. I watched every other one, and I missed the it was Monday. My Mondays suck.
Well, you can go to Fight TV and rewatch it,
I can go to Fight TV and rewatch
or ringofhonorwrestling.com and join Honor Club.
Yeah, I sure can. And I won't spoil who won the title, although they should have watched it last night. I'm very excited. I'm excited that title's back. But I'm ready for Ring of Honor to come back. I'm ready for MLW to come back. And those two are right on the verge of doing their stuff.
Ring of Honor's back.
Yes.
We're back with a vengeance. We're back 100% with a vengeance. All right, we're 100% back. There's cool things happening in the works that I can't really talk about, but there's you never know where I'm gonna pop up or when I'm gonna pop up.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Have you?
MLW is great though.
Yes.
Fort Bauer does great.
Yes,
has a
he did.
great product at MLW. Fantastic product, and I think Fusion returns this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
The 18th.
The 18th.
the
I
18th.
apologize.
That's okay.
But I look forward to that. Jacob Fatu,
Yep.
the longest reigning MLW heavyweight champion that there is.
Yep.
A NorCal guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu is amazing. I got to roll with him during Christmas and had a great time rolling with him.
Yeah.
And we've never locked up. And I had a great time rolling with Jacob Fatu. I mean, they got Hammerstone. Look at Hammerstone. The guy's built like a brick shit house.
yeah, he is.
Yeah. The guys that they have that they just signed, a lot of the guys that they're just signing up, to a lot of the people that they've had in their contract, man. MLW is a great product to watch. Impact's coming along.
Yep.
They got some cool stuff coming, but I'm telling you right now, man, none of that stuff compares to what we're doing at Ring of Honor right now. I'm telling you that right now. We're killing it.
We had we had both the bouncers on here. They're all about Ring of Honor. So I'm excited. The thing I hear all the time about Ring of Honor is people tell me, or people say, or I read it, which I shouldn't be reading and looking into stuff, is Ring of Honor needs to be on a cable channel. So
we are on cable channel. We're on all the Sinclair networks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand. I get it. I watch it on TV.
Yeah,
and I was.
Yes, Ring of Honor is basically an East Coast.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay,
and that's right.
But yeah, you could see Ring of Honor in Washington. You can see Ring of Honor in California. You can see Ring of Honor in Oregon. they're Texas, like they're all over we're all over the place. Um, excuse me, but yeah, man, like Ring of Honor um is the best company out there, man. And during this whole pandemic,
Yes, I like
they
this.
took care of
Yep.
all of us
Yeah.
because when you're part of the Ring of Honor family, you're family.
Mm-hmm. That's what Brian Malone said to us. I think it was him. Yeah. I think he said, uh, like, correct me if I might be wrong, but they covered all the dates that got canceled. All the
Yep.
stuff that got shut down for the pandemic. Ring of Honor said, don't worry about it. You're still gonna get your check. You're still gonna get whatever it is.
Even the people that were booked
Yeah.
for the women's tournament
Yeah.
that didn't happen got paid.
Insane.
And they're not even under like a lot of them
Yeah.
aren't even under contract with Ring of Honor, and they still got paid.
Awesome. Yeah, so there you go. You can hear the passion in your voice about what's happening in Ring of Honor. So I'm gonna do my homework. I'm gonna do a little more. I gotta go watch that championship match. All that
Brother.
stuff. I know.
Brother, so good. It's so good.
I
Those guys, those two guys right
Yeah.
there, the foundation,
Yeah.
those two guys right there, Hotshot Tracy Williams and Jonathan the Octopus Gresham.
Yeah.
Two of the best technical wrestlers there is in the world and have traveled the world meeting in the ring
Yeah.
with rules for 1 hour
Oof.
is
How did I
on
miss
1
that?
hour time limit. Excuse me, 1 hour time limit.
Yes.
Excuse me. Is with no punches being allowed to be thrown.
Yeah.
Go figure. Like
Yeah.
that's professional wrestling. That's what professional wrestling is.
Yep.
And what they did was absolutely amazing. I watched it last night. I'd watched a watch along. It was just, it was great. And I'm sitting there at the edge of my seat, and I'm trying to write out all this stuff, but I'm getting pulled this way, and I'm like, you know what? Screw this stuff. I'm watching this stuff. I'll get back to this stuff. 'Cause I was doing something for Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'll get back to this because Ring of Honor will understand that I'm watching,
Yeah.
our product. And if you see our studio, you've watched the Pure Tournament, right?
Yes.
You've seen the stuff we've done, right?
Yep.
Just everything looks so professional.
Yes.
Ring of Honor went in the pandemic and came out a new brand and a new company.
Well said.
And we're showing that. We're showing what true professional wrestling is now. And that's just getting excited. Just thinking about
it's
it, man.
like it's like the silver lining of the pandemic. It's like a blessing. It's a rebirth. You came out new, and it's gonna awesome.
And I came out in a new sledge from the pandemic.
New sledge, yeah.
Yeah, because when I moved to Baltimore, I kind of lost my support system
Okay.
because everything is based here in California.
Yeah.
So I was out there all alone. So I got back into depression eating. So I ballooned up just a little bit, not like I used to.
Yeah.
I was still working out and I was still training twice a day, but I put on some extra pounds that I didn't really like. So during the pandemic, I dropped all that weight, and
Yeah.
got back on a nutrition plan and got back onto, the way that sledge, I believe, should look. And, I cut my hair. I used to have long hair. I cut my hair, I
Yeah.
made a few changes here and there, to reinvent the Metalhead Maniac. And so when he comes to TV, I come through your TV.
Ooh. Nice. We're nearing the end of the show, and before I give you the mic to put over whatever you want, although you've done a phenomenal job doing it, I couldn't let you go without asking you, because Vanessa wants to know, what is your favorite roast of coffee?
I'm a black coffee guy, straight black coffee guy. Cafe Coffee is fantastic. They're owned by AC Slade, the former bass player for a band called Dope.
Yeah.
Original bass player in Dope, Murder Dolls, Joan Jett, and he also played in the Misfits as well.
Nice.
He sponsors our show, cafecoffee.com. Type in promo code SLEDGE15 and get 15% off your order. Just letting anybody know. But they send me coffee all the time. They have a thing called Black Magic coffee, and then their cold brew coffee is just absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
But usually I take my coffee black with a little bit of ice because I don't like hot coffee. I do not like hot coffee.
Interesting. Interesting.
I know. You're like, wait, what? I don't like hot food. Like, I don't like food where it burns. Like, now, spicy food, that's
Okay.
a whole other story.
Yep.
I love spicy food. I love food that makes me sweat. But temperature wise, not about it. I like to drink my coffee, not sit there and go,
Yeah.
oh, God, it burned my lips or my tongue or whatever it is, you know?
Yeah.
I like to drink my coffee. So I usually drink it black with just a little bit of ice. Also, I do a thing called intermittent fasting. So if I put any unnecessary sugars or creamers or anything like that, it takes me out of my fast. So,
Okay. Awesome.
you know, I drink my
Excellent.
coffee.
There you
Vanessa,
go.
how do you take your coffee?
Well, I do too creamed, but I was thinking like dark, medium, light roast, like how you like your coffee bean. It's kind of that idea.
Dark roast.
Dark
the
roast?
darker the better. Metal.
Yeah.
I'm a
Nice.
dark human being.
But dark is less caffeine.
Yeah, well, that's why you just have more cups.
Yes, exactly. That's why it's perfect. I agree. I like the dark roast more too. It's bitter. It's a little bitter, so I enjoy it.
I drink a lot of coffee throughout the day. It's like if I'm not drinking coffee, water, or a thing called Zevia,
There you go.
you know, Zevias are great, by the way. They're 0 calories, 0 everything. And if you ever if you love soda and you need an alternative to soda, like to get that, help you with that little bit of that sweet tooth, Zevia is amazing.
Awesome. Awesome. Well,
I'm a wolf of knowledge.
there you go. Yes, I feel like we could do this all night, but
We
you
could.
know, we have you on again. I mean, I got stuff in my notes I didn't even touch tonight.
Like what? Talk to me.
Oh gosh, you put me on the spot now. Let me
Give
quick.
me one thing.
Okay. You talked about your
And
recovery.
that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. See it. No, I'm kidding.
You talked about your recovery. Great inspirational story. Would you be against or for, or how would you handle an angle presented to you like we saw with Jeff Hardy? How they go an angle focused around his
Real life angle,
like that with the addiction.
like
and
what like Jericho did with CM Punk.
and the yes, stuff like that.
You know where I would be okay with it.
Okay.
As long as everything was done, everything was written right,
Right.
and each person that was involved in it got, I'm gonna say over,
Okay.
would be the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And there was an end to it.
Yeah.
As long as the story made sense and there was an end to it, I would totally be down with it. As long as I wasn't having to ingest any kind of
Yeah.
obviously alcohol or anything like that. But if there was a story where it was like, and oh, sorry, I was reading one of your comments. What did it say? Does Sledge watch the blow off each week?
Yeah, the Blowout Man does every week he sends us his recap of what happened in the week in wrestling, and he sends me the videos. I edit them, put them up on our YouTube channel, and we call it the Blow Off because it's the end of the week.
No, but I will now.
You will now. There you go.
There you go.
YouTube.
But yes, I'm totally open to anything like that, and I'm an open book.
Yeah.
My story's been out there. It's been out there on it's been out there on Awesome Podcast. It's been out there
Yep.
for, it's now being brought to light now because Ring of Honor has allowed me to shine light on it even
Mhm.
more. And every podcast that they put me on or anything like that, they're totally okay with me talking about my story because I wanted to make sure before I talked about it, because I sat down with the bosses and told them, hey, this is me.
Yeah.
When they were going to sign me, I said, hey guys, let's talk first, because this is kind of what I want to do.
Yeah.
And they were totally on board with it. Like they've never had a guy, they've had guys with addiction issues and so on and so forth, but somebody that's been so, I guess, open about it.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, depression and alcoholism and addiction is very, I guess would be taboo would be the right word to say.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people talk about it. Not a lot of people open up about it. And I believe that if you open up about it, number one, it helps you deal with those problems. And on top of that, you never know who you're going to help. So back to your original question, doing an angle like that,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. I'm totally in. As long as the story was written right and it had an ending, and we knew where we were going.
Excellent. Excellent. Well,
I was just
Sledge.
gonna add, like,
Go ahead.
your story would like catch, because like you were just telling like what you were saying your story. I kind of like, I've read about it, but like hearing you talk about it, like I was bawling sitting here, like I was bawling.
No, you weren't.
I was
She
legit.
was.
Like I'm
She sent me the message.
I can't see her, so she's blacked out on my screen.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
she-
no, but yeah, no, like I was like, oh my gosh, like I had to mute myself because I was like sniveling.
Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
It
You
was-
know, I'm glad that I'm not glad that you cried about my story. But I'm
Just
glad that I was able to
powerful,
come on your guys.
powerful.
I was glad I was able to come on your guys' podcast and tell the story. I know this has been about a month and a half in the works.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I was able to come and hopefully somebody takes something from this. And before we sign off, I just want to say one thing. If you're I'm nobody special. Okay. I'm a human being just like you are, just like Vanessa. I'm a human being. I'm a guy who's made a bunch of mistakes and still will make a bunch of mistakes. But it's what you do with those mistakes and what you do and what you learn from. And you're not alone in this world. Trust me on this. You are never alone in this world. There's always somebody there. It might not be the person you want to be there, but somebody's always there and somebody will always be able to reach out and help you. Suicide rate has skyrocketed since COVID-19.
Mhm.
Skyrocketed. Because everybody's been laid off from their jobs and they're locked in their homes. That's a scary thing.
Mhm.
Not knowing where the next dollar is coming from. Not knowing how to feed your kids. Not knowing how to pay your mortgage or pay your car payment or whatever's going on, you know. And a lot of people have taken to suicide as a way out. Trust me, guys, that's not the way out. Trust me on that. It's not the way out. All you need to do is sometimes just reach out. And you reach out to 100 people. And I guarantee you at least one's going to get back to you to help you out. I guarantee it. You're not alone in this world. No one is.
Awesome. Well said. Well said. We can't top that. Yes. Excellent. Why don't you let the people know? I mean, people that are here live, we've been putting out the commands, but we'll push this out to YouTube. Let us know where we can find you and all that fun stuff.
I'm really easy to find. I keep all my socials very easy. At Sledge805. I live the 805. I live in the 805. 805 is where my heart is. You can check that works. You can check me out on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with Coffee with Sledge. That's twitch.tv/Sledge805. And from 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have cool guests. We do exactly what you're doing here.
Yeah. Great.
As we sit here, we talk, and it's sometimes I bring on motivational speakers, sometimes I bring on wrestlers, sometimes I bring on musicians. So it just depends, you know. You'll never know what flavor you're going to get. And we talk about motivation, we talk about current events, we talk about professional wrestling, we talk about it all on our show, just like you do.
Awesome.
So it's a fun show. It's a very interactive show. If you have questions, comments for our guests are very open to taking questions and comments. That's it.
What's on tomorrow? Who do you have on tomorrow? Anyone or no?
We got LSG coming on tomorrow.
Oh, he's great. He is great.
Yeah, love LSG.
Yeah, we've had him
Yeah,
on
we got
here.
LSG.
Yeah.
We got LSG coming on, and then I don't know if you know this guy. On Friday we have a guy named Moonshine Mantel.
Moonshine. Where did I hear that?
Yeah,
I think
look up
I have
Moonshine.
him on a list.
They have him on
He's
our
a-
list.
He's on
Yeah,
a guest list.
Moonshine.
Look up Moonshine, man. That guy is a monster, and I am so surprised that he has not been swooped up by anybody. I've wrestled him,
Yeah.
and the guy is an absolute beast. I'm shocked no one has swooped him up yet. I know he's done stuff with MLW.
Yeah.
I know he's done stuff with Impact. He does reality wrestling out of Booker T's place. I mean, the guy is just phenomenal.
Awesome. So we'll look forward to those. All right, Sledge. It's been a pleasure. You've been phenomenal, inspirational, and just great all around. So I look forward to you. I can't wait to see you in the ring.
It might be sooner than you think.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Awesome. Have yourself a great night. Thanks for coming on.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Bye.
Later. Peace. Oh, awesome stuff, Vanessa.